Hey everyone, we have Jeff and Suleika back. They were on the podcast a couple months ago and have been MIA a little while. I've been trying to get them back on, but they just finished another house hack, so I just had to have them come back on. Welcome aboard.
Oh, thank you so much, Paul. We're excited to be here. And yeah, we've been busy basically getting that house hack number 8 optimized. And now we're ready to go.
Awesome. So for the people that don't know you, go ahead and introduce yourself.
So I'm Suleika. I have been a house hacker since 2017 with Jeff. So about 4 or 5 years after we started dating, we started house hacking. And now we're retired. We have PTO for life, paid time off for life, which is very exciting, but we're still house hacking because we have a certain number that we want to meet.
Yes, and I am the second half of PTO for life, not the better half, second half. And yeah, basically our story is basically we're house hackers and doing it since 2017 and currently on number 8. And super excited to share all the details today.
Yeah, and I'm going to link your last episode in the description of this video, so if anybody wants to hear your whole story, they can watch that. But let's dig into house hack number 8. Most people do one, maybe two at the most, and then they start investing, off the side. You guys are just gonna keep plowing through them, and house hack number 8. So what is this property? How do you find it? Sounds like you guys renovated it. So let's talk about that.
All right, so I'll start with the initial parts.
Yeah.
So how did we find it? So straight off the MLS. And
Okay.
this is where Zuber talks about buy box and looking every day at your buy box to make sure you really know your market so you can spot those inefficiencies in finding a deal. So this particular one, I noticed that to give you a general idea of multifamilies in the Denver metro market, usually they sell between 500,000 to like 1.5 billion. So low end 500 up to like 1.5, depending on the style, location, amenities, whatnot. So this one was so fascinating. It was straight on the MLS, but they underpriced it. I just knew right away it was listed at 533. And basically I knew right away, like triplex, underpriced. I know most triplexes go between 600 to 700,000 on average, and this one was about 100K less. Looked at the pictures, it looked okay. Like did like little updates on a couple, like one unit, the other two units were just average, but nothing that stands out about like significant materiality of like, oh, the structure's bad, a roof's bad, a sewer line. It was just a small triplex. So I knew right away, like, oh, they had to price this thing by at least 25 to 50K. So, because I'm also a licensed realtor in the state of Colorado, I immediately told Suleika about it. It's like, hey, what do you think about this one? We could, it's a, going from our carriage house to a 1 bedroom. Are you okay with it?
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Yeah. So the same day that went on the market, we checked it out and basically put an offer on that. It was on a Wednesday. Put an offer on a Wednesday, and we tried to get them to accept it, acceptance before the weekend hit, because we knew once the weekend hit, there would be other people that see it and we have more competition, because we knew that the thing was underpriced by a good chunk of money. So we threw the offer in literally that same day that we saw it, acceptance deadline on Thursday, and we got them to lock it in at the list price with an $8,000 seller credit on the same day before it hit the market, before it hit, the weekend timeline. And what's interesting is when it hit the market on, it's still, under contract on that Thursday, they still showed it to other people for like backup offers. And they had 2 backup offers right after us.
Yeah.
30K, one at 555 and one at 560. Basically right behind us. And then the seller, I think, was secretly kind of mad at their listing agent because they took our offer before giving enough time. But we were happy. It was like,
Yeah.
see, we got a good deal on this one.
Yeah.
And that was the story on where we found it, what it was listed at, and then the unit mix. So it's a 2-bed, 1-bath. That was updated. That was the one renovated one. And then a 1-bed, 1-bath middle unit, and then a 1-bed, 1-bath end unit. And 2 out of the 3 units, the 1-bedroom units, were occupied on month-to-month leases. And the 2-bedroom unit was vacant. So as professional house hackers, we were like, we'll take the smallest one because we know it'll cash flow more.
Yeah.
It'll benefit us the most. So the 2-bedroom unit was vacant. The 1-bedroom unit was occupied. The end unit was occupied. So we pretty much negotiated the contract too to have them end those leases or have them get rid of those tenants so we could get a fully unoccupied triplex.
Awesome. Okay. So before we even get into renovations, neither one of you are working in W-2 anymore, right?
Yeah, no.
So,
no.
what did you do to qualify for this loan?
Well, that just goes back to all those years of house hacking, right?
Okay.
So it starts off very slow and steady, and then eventually your rental income will get up like to a W-2 type of salary, where we're able to qualify on this one without needing the W-2 because we had enough, I guess, rental income from all the rentals combined to qualify for this $33,000 purchase price.
That is awesome. And then
Pretty amazing feeling too, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Think about
we
it.
never thought it would happen in
jobs.
6.5 years without a job. Yeah, no
Mhm.
W-2
Yeah.
to go off or qualify with.
And this isn't, in the Midwest where I'm from, buying $100,000 or $200,000 houses. No, this is over a $500,000 house, and you're qualifying just off all these houses that you've house hacked. That's the income that you use to qualify for this loan.
Correct.
That's right.
What type of loan did you end up locking down this property with?
Yes. So because we had, I can answer this one, the conventional, so the new Fannie Mae product, the conventional 5% down, but we wanted to lower our mortgage payment. So we did 10% down and we had that 8K seller credit. So is the 10% down conventional loan product.
Okay, cool. And then that 8K, you just pushed it towards what, closing costs?
Yeah, and to buy down the rate a little bit.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So it was a little bit mixed between buying down the rate and a little bit less out of pocket with closing costs. You had, it sounds like a mortgage payment in mind, right? More than
Yes,
least out of pocket.
that's
that right?
correct.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mortgage payment we wanted to keep was about $3,500 because the rates at that time were a little bit higher than they are now. So but the rate we locked in out was about 6.675. Not terrible. But not as good as if we bought it today, but we're not complaining. We got the mortgage payment we wanted, which was $3,500.
Yeah, okay. And if rates do drop, 1.5, 2 points, then you're making out. You can always do a cash, or you can always do a refi, right?
Yep.
So
Totally.
all right. So I'll let you guys take it from here now. Where do you want to go? Do you want to talk about the renovations or do you want to talk about the move? Because I'm going to ask both questions. You're moving from one unit to another, doing another house hack. Where do you want to go? You want to go renovations first or the move?
Well, the move happened first.
Okay.
Well, kind of, yeah. So from our carriage house, I said, let's get out of here, even if that tenant is not gone from this triplex, because I wanted to start cash flowing on that little back house right away. We had a tenant for our little back house, our little carriage house. So I said, let's get out of here. We did. We went and lived in my sister's basement, which is always like our go-to in between houses if we're homeless for a little bit.
Yes.
And
Thank
so-
you, sister of
Thank you,
Suleika
sister.
Mom.
So we moved, I packed up and moved everything. We put it in storage and we just took like a suitcase to my sister's house, basically. So it's like we were going on a little vacation. And she's just about 30 minutes away from us. So stayed in her basement. The guy that we were supposed to move into his unit didn't move out yet. So we had to wait another month.
Yeah.
What we thought was 1 month, it turned into 2.
Yeah.
And then towards that second month was when we started renovations finally too. So that was good to be able to finally get into that. And then from the storage unit, we had to move into our unit. So it's like 2 moves in for that one.
All right. Now, when you said it, he took longer to get out. Now, was that like him not finding a new place? Like, tell the story on that. Was he expected to be out in 30 days and he took 60 plus, or what was the story there?
Good question. You know more
Yeah,
about
I
it.
can answer that
I
one.
was just frustrated the whole time. So
Yeah, so initially we had a 30-day close, right? Just general 30-day, which is common in most markets. But they were all month to month. And the seller was hesitant to give 30-day notice until I had like loan approval. So basically, I wanted to, have him give him notice, have him out by the time of closing or before, but he was like, well, if you don't close, I'm out, both these tenants that were still there, right? So I understood from the seller's point of view, but we pushed and pushed and pushed, and we got the middle person out by the time of closing. But the end unit one, the one we wanted to move into, the 1-bedroom at the end, he basically stayed another, more like another 30 days. So we really couldn't do anything for that time period because he did give him notice, but he didn't give him notice till like 3 days before closing. So pushed it to the next month. So we had to wait that additional 30 days to really do all the renovations for our units and plan all that out. So we still moved out. We had no place to go. We went to the sister's place in the basement because we rented our carriage house out, and then just waited till the person to finally move out. He moved out on like 30 days after closing, but we were able to find tenants for the 2-bedroom unit, the 1-bedroom unit in the meantime, as we were just waiting for our unit to be available.
Okay, so let's dig into we already have your purchase price, 530,000, right?
Yep, 533.
533. Okay, and you got some seller credits, but 533. Now we're talking renovations, and let's talk about your total all in and what you're renting out each unit for.
Yes, I can answer these questions. I know all the numbers. I love the numbers. So total cost for everything with down payment, closing costs, and renovations was about 65,000. So down payment, 10% down, 53,000 because we had the closing costs covered, and then renovations was about 12,000.
Okay.
And then the rents, we're using the Section 8 strategy because what I call it here is getting Class A type rents for Class B, C properties. And what is Section 8 pay for in this location? $2,200 for a 2-bedroom and $1,800 for a 1-bedroom.
Oh my God.
So I know, right? That was my face. So we're able to get 22 plus 18, so $4K in rents with a $3,500 mortgage at 6.675 rate. So that's how we just knew it was a deal, even at the higher rate, because of what the monthly payment is and what the rents we knew we could get.
Okay. And all these utilities are split, or is there anything tied together like water?
Just the water, sewer, trash are
Water,
shared.
trash. So
the electric and gas is split.
Awesome.
Thanks to the lumberjack landlord course.
Yes.
Taught us that is a really good strategy. And so we're
Yes.
implementing that. For
Awesome.
sure.
So really, even with paying, water, sewer, trash, and your mortgage, you're cash flowing living in this unit then, right? Or are you pretty close? A little
couple $100 after net after holding a little bit. Yeah. So that's even at the high rate. So that's where we're showing we're still house hacking today. We're not like, oh, we house hacked in 2012 and everything was a good deal back then. We're doing it today, making it happen, and still cash flowing. Not as much as what we want it to be, but we're super happy. Like we have our own unit and we set this living for free at in a triplex. And that's just incredible at today's market, today's rates.
Yeah. All right. I got a 2-part question for you guys. It's going to start with, this is house hack number 8. Are you getting sick of it at any point? Or you're just like, I'm so used to it that I just want to keep going? That's the first part.
Sick of it? I'm not. I honestly, I feel like we may not stop.
Yeah.
But maybe only it's because of the areas we're living in. Maybe if eventually we get to like a nice area that I really like, and then I could see myself just walking around freely and safely, then I might want to stick around there for some time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the answer that I didn't pay her to tell. She said it on her own. Thank you.
What?
Now you said, yeah, no, want that answer. Of course I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you know, Paul, with couples, sometimes one person's super on board, the other person's like halfway. We're both all in, and it allowed us to leave our W-2s much sooner than we thought without having to do any creative burr strategies, flicks and flips. But to answer your question, yes, Still gung ho about it. We've been moving all these years 8 times in 7 years. So it's a lot of moves. So eventually we're at the point where we're kind of like our next one. I told her this will be in that desirable location part of Denver where, we could, maybe get a dog. We'll start with the dog. That's a cute. And like if she can walk the dog around and feel comfortable in that neighborhood, then maybe that's our next one. But yeah, we don't see it as like a negative of oh, we gotta stop. We have to go to our final house and be done. We see it as like this is another year, and we're excited for this one, and then we'll be excited for the next one. But their next one, I do believe, will be 100% will be in the awesome location, and still want to aim to live for free. But we're okay that that next one will be maybe more break even or a little bit like kind of paying a little bit to live there.
Okay.
But still going strong, Paul.
Yeah. And I still
Awesome.
wouldn't want a full house all to myself. A small unit, like under 1,000 square feet, for me is perfect. So
Yeah. Or a carriage
I
house.
don't
We
want,
like
I don't
those.
want a bunch of bedrooms. I don't want a bunch of space. No.
Okay, so part 2 is kind of with part 1. Is it really everything you just said, or do you just want to get more house hacks than the lumberjack?
Good question. Good question. I'll let you.
Well,
Did he tell you he's behind you?
well, when we heard he had 10,
No, 9.
okay, so Jeff's lender had told him that he had
Yes.
worked with a guy that had 8.
Yeah.
So this would have been our last one had we not known about the lumberjack story. Like it would have technically been kind of our last one. And then last year when we heard about lumberjack, Jeff said, we gotta go some more. Are you ready? Like, do you want to do this? And that's when I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's keep going, and we'll get to 10. And then that's why we're still gonna go for it. Yeah.
Yes. So it's literally ego boost. It's not Paul. We don't need any more.
You
Really,
don't.
like we are done. Like we don't need any more. It's literally just to say, oh, we did one more than lumberjack.
Yep.
That's it.
Just some
just to
competition.
save face.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, he's sweet.
Yeah, he actually
he's proud.
he's cheering it up for us too. So we're
Yeah.
kind of like open to it. But we also want to say that we've lived in all these places and lived in basements and carriage houses and triplexes and duplexes, and it's been a journey. It's been a long journey, but it's been absolutely worth it, and we would do it all over again if we had to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It'd be fun all over again. I
Yeah.
would do it all over again if tomorrow we ended up with nothing, because I know that that's a for sure way to make those millions right back.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
All right, so
Yeah, that's true. So we it's more like a little pride, little ego, but
little
but I
friendly
would say
competition.
that's like we definitely want one that's going to be more in the kind of like I forgot the guy in Bigger Pockets calls like luxury house hack or like a higher quality one. So you're maybe in like a better part of town, like nice carriage house, the main front. Like we'll do a form of it, I think for sure. We'll just keep going with some form of it, whether it's like a big duplex or carriage house right down the front house or vice versa. So I don't see us just ever just buying a house by ourselves.
No.
Maybe like a little cool condo, but even that
yeah.
one, yeah. But that'd be a different. But yeah, some type of house hacking, I think.
Yeah.
At least for the next 2.
Awesome. So let's get real though. I mean, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? I'm sure there's been arguments and people irritated, and it can't always be fun, right?
House hacking.
Yeah.
I
Like house
think
hacking
if
as a
you
couple, even when you're both on the same page, it can't always be just, perfect.
Yeah, I think if you don't communicate certain things, either from him to me or me to him, yeah, there can be arguments. I'm trying to think. Do you want me to talk about one?
I guess. I don't know, whatever you want to talk about. I don't want to like throw out your dirty laundry over here, but
Oh,
I mean, like
no.
let's be real. Like it's not always been perfect, right? You had to have some kind of problems along the way, right?
Yeah, and I think communication is what kind of helps those problems. There was one in particular that I could like really stands out, and it was we had this handyman, and he was kind of helping Jeff do some things here and there, And there's this up, down, well, no, there was our Northwood house. So there's this house, it has like a mother-in-law downstairs, and then it has separate unit upstairs. The people that sold it to us, they created a wall so that the people from downstairs can't just walk upstairs and vice versa. And I loved that idea. I thought that was great. Years later, I'm talking to the lady from downstairs, and she goes, you know, I wish there was a lock on the door that goes from upstairs to downstairs. And I'm looking at her like, what are you talking about? Like, there is no door. Why would there be a door? Like, that's blocked up. And she goes, yeah, well, you know, it just, I heard like somebody trying to open it the other day, and I don't know if it was the kids or what. And I was like, okay, I don't know what this lady's talking about. So I go over there, and there's this door where the wall used to be. I was like, how did this get here and why? Well, the handyman had somehow talked to Jeff about it. I didn't know, and was like, yeah, I think it'd be great if you guys put in a door here. That way, if you ever decide to open this place up, then people from upstairs can walk downstairs, whatever. I think he was just trying to like find something to do to get paid for. But I never wanted that door there. And if we're always going to be renting that separately, why do we need a door? Why do we have to pay an extra, what was it, $2,000 to $3,000 for this random door? Like, give me $2,000 to $3,000 if you want to just blow it like that. That really pissed me off because that was not talked about. And suddenly there's a store. So who has to go over there and put a lock on one side and on the other? Me. For this door, I never allowed. I never thought it hasn't helped out in any way, shape, or form. Like, we actually almost had to pay for that to be closed back off so that Section 8 would
Approve it.
would approve it.
Yeah.
Would approve it. Luckily we got through and we didn't have to do anything, but we would have almost had to pay just the same amount to seal it back up. This door has no purpose.
So yeah, that one was miscommunication. That's where we do a better job now of all the so that one was more
Major expensive.
major, yeah, any big changes, right? So obviously like a sink that's leaking or someone will send like a plumber out. Like, we do group text now and we do more communication. So that's that was just, you're right. Like, I knew, like, I should have told you, and it you know, made her upset, and but we learned from it. And you're right, Paul, it's like nothing, it's not all rainbows and butterflies and chocolate rivers, but we try our best, and we try to do the communication's the big piece, I would say. And also you have to be flexible, right? That's probably the number one thing is people, I think, go in with like the realization that you can be live next to tenants. You might be living in basements, you might be living in a room, you might be living in a half a duplex, or, you know, you might not be in the most ideal spot that you want to be in, but you have to be open-minded. And some people just can't, people just don't like to go, you know, the stages of life. People graduate college, get a good job, they live in those, you know, nice Class A apartments. It's hard for them to go live in a, you know, Class B, C duplex, right? They don't want to like go like downward. They want to go upward, like mobility. And some people just have issues with that. They just can't get past that in their mind. Like, why do I go live in this duplex when I live in this beautiful Class A apartment where I have all these amenities? And that's why I think a lot of people don't house hack, is they can't fathom that they would take a step backwards because they see it as almost going backwards in life instead of forward.
Definitely. I definitely see that as well. It's all mindset in people. It's just like they think that they have this whole like persona that they have to hold up. And they look at it as a step backwards. And I'm like, okay, most people would think we've been taking steps backwards or staying even. But we're way further ahead than most people because of that. We're building equity in properties and putting little money into them. That's the beautiful part about house hacking. Putting a lot less money into a property to buy a rental. So.
Yeah. And it's a surefire way to get up that property ladder.
Yeah. So between the two of you, what do you feel like are each of your like strong suits or your superpowers to making this a successful strategy?
Well, I don't want to talk about my superpower because I would know. I would rather you tell me what you think.
Okay, let's do that.
I think. I trust Jeff blindly when it comes to finding a good house hack. So it could be in the middle of the ditch somewhere, and if Jeff's like, yep, these are the numbers. I'm like, cool, let's go move there. I trust him blindly with that because the results have been fantastic. So I think that's his superpower, is he has a really good eye for finding a property, and he is addicted to looking for properties, which I love that. Because I don't like, I will scroll through and look for things. And I'm like, oh, I think I found one. And I send it to Jeff. He's like, well, this and this and this and this. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not that good at this as much as I thought I was. And so I love that Jeff just can spit things out right away when it comes to finding the right property. So it gives me a lot of confidence in where we're going to be. And that's definitely, I think, your superpower.
That's so nice. Thank you so much. I was hoping you'd say that one. Yeah. I really enjoyed that part. That's my favorite part, is finding deals. So for her, I think she has 2 superpowers.
Ooh.
Yeah. Number one, your big one is communication with tenants and other people, contractors. She knows how to play that balance of how to be firm and fair, make sure they don't take advantage of them. So big thing for me is like, I'm a really nice guy. I just say, I go with the flow of things, and people could just say, oh yeah, I'll pay later. I'll put all these extra cars in the driveway, and Jeff won't say anything because he's too nice.
Or let's add a door here.
Yeah, let's add a door here. Yeah. I'll just say, oh yeah, that sounds about right. I'm already saying yes to it before they even finish their sentence.
Yep.
That's me. That's my personality. But for her, she knows how to balance out. So my weakness is probably that. Her strength is definitely knowing to deal with different types of people. Like our Section 8 ones are like our 35-year-old rent by room person, professionals. She knows how to communicate to each of them, and knowing how to say the right thing without saying too much. I think that's definitely a talent thing. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then she has the eye on how number 2 is more how to make the place look amazing, right? So my talent isn't staging or coming up with this really like where to add shelves or how to come up with a good kitchen design. She could see that. She's very creative of using Pinterest and other sources of finding ways to take like a boring triplex and make it visually appealing. So we attract really high quality tenants. And then a quality place for us to live too. So if I was designing the place, it would look much different than what it ended up looking like. I'll put it that way. That's her true talent too, is also finding ways to like, hey, let's try this, like this idea, like what do you think about that? And I almost trust her blindly. I'm just like, hey, she's got it, she'll figure it out. And then all the furniture too, like if it was me, it'd just be a black and white neutral mess of a place. It'd be super boring, super sterile, like a doctor's office. But without the Highlands magazines that people like to read, it'll just be a not exciting place, but she brings life to every place.
Thank you.
So
cool.
Jeff's good at finding the places, and Suleika does everything else.
Yes. You got it. You see, I got the easy part, Paul. I got the easy part.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. So I mean, we could talk for hours, but we're going to wrap this one up pretty soon. And if my audience wanted to reach out to you, had just any questions about house hacking, how can they do that?
We have an Instagram account, PTO for Life, PTO and then the number 4 Life.
Okay.
And we also have a YouTube channel that we kind of haven't been working on as much, but it's only because we've been re-optimizing all of our properties literally all summer long. So yeah. It's been crazy, but through there, or even Jeff's email or
yep.
We have a PTO for Life email.
PTO for Life at gmail.com. So we have the Instagram page. I can reach out direct there. Our email, PTO for Life at gmail.com. And then our YouTube channel as well, if they want to find more fun content. And we got more stuff coming. That's going to be awesome.
Yes.
And of course, that will all be in the description of the video. So okay. Yeah, that'll be easy, really easy one. I just copy and paste everything from the last one and put it in here.
Awesome. And we love answering questions. And if we don't know it, we'll figure it out for you, because it's probably something we might need to know also. So yeah, it's always good connecting with the community. I love that part.
Yeah, especially other couples or people that are having some struggles with their house hack journey. We really like helping those types because we know we've been through the struggles ourselves, even though we sound all positive and happy and giggly, you know, we've been through the ups and downs and we know what it's like to deal with the loud tenants, the ones that are slow pay, that are always late.
We just don't want anybody to be
Contractors.
discouraged
Yeah.
because there really is nothing to be discouraged about when it comes to house hacking. It is a very, very, very forgiving, amazing strategy. So
Yeah, slow and steady.
nothing should discourage you to completely stop. Nothing.
Awesome. All right. So one more question for you. I know you've been busy doing the rehab, but what channel, YouTube channel, podcast that are you watching right now that you're really focused on?
Ah, good one. Well, we kind of watch them like together. Dion and Dion Financial Talks, definitely. Lumberjack Landlord, whenever he posts. Well, Zuber every morning. That's like you know, we hear Zuber's voice in the morning every day.
like the
So,
daily
yeah,
financial
yeah,
news,
daily financial news for sure.
Yeah.
And anything separately than that? Well, we watch what like comes up, like people that we met at the ORAT convention. So like we'll look up like
Financial firefighter.
financial firefighter, Net Talks, your channel. You have people on there that we saw at the event. You have people on there that are talking about whatever their real estate investment things are or whatever's going on in their lives. Like it's always good to see what everybody else is up to and to hear what everybody else is up to, how things are going around in like their different states and whatnot. So it's good, it's exciting, and I feel like we have that really like good core of channels that we watch.
And we try to take a little bit from each one, right? So we
Yeah.
like to find the best things of each one and find better ways to re-optimize our business. So it's a fantastic way to approach it because if you just listen to one person only, it's kind of for one you get one-sided, then you'll not YouTube sends you a wealth of information. So we don't like just say we're stuck on this one channel only. We want to take all these little great details from everybody.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for coming on. I love having you on. It's just such a fun conversation every time you're on.
Thank you, Paul. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, how nice.